And Mike, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I have a proposition for specifically Mr. Daniel and Mr. Patrick, and I guess by matter of
Not Kyle.
no, he's could just be like adjacent to this. My proposal is that we take the green T-shirt that Pat is currently wearing, and we take my green T-shirt that is identical, and Dan's green T-shirt that's identical, and by default Tom's green T-shirt that's identical, and we burn them. And then we take
Tom? I don't even know.
then we take the ashes to the place of origin of them because it no longer exists.
O'Donoghue's? It's something else now. It's like a bank or
Close.
something.
Sure, yeah. O'Donoghue's in Florida, and we sprinkle the ashes because these shirts need to be retired.
Should we play like taps like while that's playing, or like?
No, you gotta do like bagpipes. It was an Irish pub, so you need like.
Oh wait, I thought
Gotta give it a
maybe
proper
like
burial.
raise you up on eagle's wings. I could do like a nice acapella.
I was
on
really
that if you
okay
need.
with everything until you mentioned bagpipes, and now that's a hard no.
You're like
Hard no.
Bagpipes are the sound of your people.
I spent so many fucking years in the Boy Scouts walking directly in front of the bagpipers.
Can you believe there are people who play the bagpipes and enjoy
Can
it?
you believe that people teach it to their children? It sounds like you're murdering a herd of cats.
That was the original design. It was like how are we going to murder these cats? And they were like,
Okay, I'll put them in this bag and we'll play music until they fucking die.
Kyle, your school didn't have a bagpipe band that would randomly show up at bars in the middle of the night and start playing bagpipes like ours.
oh
did.
my god, I remember that. No, we were at was that like just the St. Patty's Day bar crawl that we were at that one
Yeah,
time?
like Manhattan's Day.
Manhattan's Day, that's right.
And we were just like sitting there, and all of a sudden it's like flogging Molly just comes
And we're just like
through the door.
we're just sitting in the corner drinking our beers like this sucks.
Nah,
Next
that's
bar.
cool.
So next bar.
I actually kind of forgot about that. I think I blocked it out.
No, I think it was in a bar in Midtown, if I remember correctly, and it had stairs. Do you guys remember that?
That was
No,
different.
there were
That
two
was-
separate occasions.
Okay,
That was at St.
Maybe I'm
Patty's
thinking of
Day.
Something else. That wasn't.
No, because you're right. We were at that place on 45th. That was St. Patty's. I remember the exact.
And
what
we
you're
were
talking
21 at the time, and the guy gave me lip anyway because I guess I look like I'm young, which I do. But
Yeah,
like he pulled out the full like flashlight scanner, like he had all the fixings.
Oh
He
yeah.
wanted to throw
Yeah, when
someone
they
out of the
threaten to give
bar, he
your
didn't give
ID
a
like a
shit.
prostate exam, and they're like, I'm gonna bend it, and you're like, okay, well if you bend it, whether or not it's real, it's going to snap, and then we're gonna have a fucking problem with each other.
Pat, that was
Well,
back before you started gluing your pubes to your face, so you didn't really.
Oh, good one, Mike.
Yikes.
I'm not going to support that or deny that, but since we're on the fake ID story, I will say I did watch a bouncer in Baltimore shortly after, not for our listeners. New York used to have these IDs, if you don't know. They were basically
Bendables.
fucking rubber bands. You could bend them and do whatever the actual fuck you wanted to do with them, and they would
You
pop
can
right
you,
back
you,
in their
you can
shape.
you can fold like a DNA helix out of it.
Yeah.
No problem.
And now we have these hard cards, and they changed literally on, like right before my 21st birthday, they changed the format of the ID. And I will never forget this as long as I live. This bouncer in Baltimore takes this girl's ID, who was in our class. I knew how old she was. I knew her from Westchester, and goes, well, this isn't obviously fake, and snaps it. And she goes, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, oh, calm down. You're like 12. And she was like, I'm fucking 22, and you just broke my fucking driver's license. And I'm
It was
in
the new
another
one, right?
state." Yeah. And he was like, well, that's not what they look like. And everyone behind him in line was like, dude,
that is what they look
this
like.
is exactly what they look like now. And he was
What
like,
happened?
oh.
We need to talk about those old driver's licenses, though. Those old driver's licenses were the goat. Like,
You could
You know-
chalk them if you had
Yeah.
the right birthday and make it look like you were older. So
Or
if you had a
like-
94 birthday, it was really easy to take a little white colored
Mm-hmm.
pencil and a little red one and make it 91. Very easy.
yeah, or like any birthday.
Never did that even at all, though. Not even one time. Did I
They
do
were
that.
impossible to actually make a fake one though. Like I'm pretty
Yes,
sure it was
all the
basically
fake ones were
impossible.
terrible. They were so bad.
Which is dumb why they changed it, because they're like, oh, the new ones are safer. But I remember like, yeah, those came in right as we were turning 21, and I saw
Yeah.
more fake New York IDs for underclassmen than I'd ever seen, because those New York ones were like impossible. You could,
Yeah.
like Pat said, you could like Mobius strip those fucking things. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the word I was looking for, but I
The design, the
Yeah.
idea is that you could roll them up into a cylinder and drop it into your hand, and it would be flat by the time it hit your hand. That was the original design.
and they would change texture too. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And if you rubbed
It was the topographic map of New York, basically.
Yeah, and if you rubbed it the right way, like if you rubbed like the Adirondacks, it smelled like pine or some shit like that. Like,
You could create like a sandy texture that would come off when you rubbed it. It was wild. They were so secure, and they just went to an idea that is worse in every conceivable way.
I didn't know they were
I don't
scratch and
understand
sniffs.
I'm sure it's also significantly cheaper to do the new way, so that's probably why they ultimately did it.
no, it's like a
Well,
hologram, dude.
Yeah. Or somebody's family who's, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, elbow greasing. The government owns a fucking facility that makes those cards. Like that's the only way
Scratch,
the
scratch.
cards
Oh, this is a sugar maple. State tree.
doesn't
that's a
smell
state
like the
tree of New York,
Adirondacks.
fun
You
fact.
lose.
No, but now every time I like pull out my ID, I get to look at myself like 30 pounds heavier, like in carbonite on my fucking ID. Like, it's,
Yeah, same, and no beard. I look like a fucking freak.
did you know,
That's
Kyle?
I
That's a
don't
fun
think anyone
thing we
looks good in
do.
their license picture.
Maybe that's a fun thing we do. We unveil our license pictures.
Girls get their hair done and like makeup done.
I'm
for
17 in
pictures.
mine too, so I look like a freak and a fetus.
No, I'm 20.
great
I got mine
combination.
taken before I turned 21. So
No, I'm not going to unveil my license picture, but I will show my European visa picture because I'm shit-faced at 7 a.m. in it, and it is a spectacular picture of me. It's the best picture of me in the world. It's so horrible. It's so fantastic.
We should lay out Pat's high school ID cards so we can see.
Oh my God. Can we please?
We can see the ratio of head to ear as it like. slowly-
it's like Animorphs.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
This is not yet my final form.
You know what? I think we've been going now for a few minutes, and I don't think we've officially said hi to Mike, have we?
No, we kind of did.
That's on purpose. That's on purpose.
Well, that's fair.
So that was my
Yeah,
whole
we-
thing about like the funeral.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I don't know if that was your whole opening statement, but we kind of took it and ran, which was great.
Yeah.
Hey guys, how you doing? Also, we're gonna Viking funeral these shirts in Florida with like a Grand Marquis and a Coors Light bottle rocket.
Yes, and then the closing ceremony of the event is going to be Mike throwing a baseball terribly into the river.
Yes, that's only that's only
the
fitting.
canal.
Wonder
So
where that baseball
I've
is
never
now.
seen this throw, obviously.
Mhm.
I want the both of you who are baseball fans, not you, Bruce. I want the both of you on a scale of 1 to 10, rate
1 to
that
50
throw.
cent.
Decimals are allowed.
On a scale of 1 to 50 cent, I think is the proper scale. Or Fauci.
I would say
well,
that-
no, 50 Cent, there's never been a worse throw than 50 Cent. At
It
least
was somewhere
Fauci
between
was the
50
right
Cent and
direction.
Fauci.
50
Mhm.
Cent threw it in the wrong direction, which was so confusing.
Yes,
How do you fuck up that hard?
it went like 170 degrees in the wrong direction. Yeah.
That's an accurate
well,
number of
I think so. He
degrees.
threw it. So if, just to, I guess touch on this. He was throwing it to you, Dan.
He was.
I think. But like, even if I was there and like reached at my full apex, because I'm obviously just like a immense athlete and I have the body metabolism of an athlete.
Calm down, String Bean.
Like a professional golfer.
At my full reach, I could not have gotten this ball. It went sailing.
So what was the distance between Mike and Dan when the throw occurred?
It had to be like 20 feet. It wasn't
20,
even
25
like,
feet. Yeah, not terribly far.
it was not.
Jesus
We were not.
Christ.
Long, we were not.
Granted,
long
I'll-
tossing.
Fucking segue, Michael.
We were not long
I'll
tossing.
concede. I'll concede that I even then was still a relatively short person. I don't think I really hit my full height until literally like junior year
Even
of
so,
college.
but like that's.
But
like
even
not
so,
Mhm.
yeah. And again, the backstory of that is it was the middle of winter. I obviously love baseball, as you guys all know from this listening to the 29 episodes of this podcast so far. And I was looking forward to nothing more than being
We have
able to
21
go in the
kids.
warm weather and just throw a baseball back.
We
and
didn't
forth
have
for
another
5 minutes.
ball.
And Mike
And
just
there's no
fucked
other
it into the
ball.
fucking river.
And we never saw
I would
the
have
ball.
rather you thrown the ball like over, like in the sandlot over that fence.
Because yeah,
And
we
I
could
had to
have
retrieve the
There's a
ball
sandlot.
from the beast. I could have knocked on that guy's door.
Dude, talk about like an overblown movie. Like they could have just been like, "Excuse me, baseball went over
We
the
just
fence."
have the fucking ball.
No, he's a killer. That's like the whole point. That's the premise of the movie. Like he killed people. His dog kills people. They're like
Right, he's
they
accessory to
don't,
murder.
but the kids think that. Yeah.
Whatever.
Well,
Meanwhile, he's like a really nice
conclusion.
guy.
In conclusion, we have digressed. So